Why why were we taught to look at being as a pet, being Stuart Little to the situation? Are cartoons deceiving little kids to think or get closer to these animals or these rodents or these pests when basically to get into harm's way? Because just think about it. As a little kid, we watching these cartoons, and don't tell me y'all have not had that idea of going up to a rabbit when you see a rabbit out here, or going up to uh, a raccoon, or going up to a deer when you seen a deer. You know, in cartoons, we see movies like Bambi, Alice in Wonderland, where you can actually talk to these animals. But in real life, you go up to these animals and you are the attacker. Just like that one video, there was this one short I made about this guy, and he was I think it was a deer that kept attacking him and kept fighting with him. And he was like, "What's wrong with you? You know, you're mad. Why are you so mad?" But that's what I'm saying. Like, these cartoons is teaching us that we can go near these pets and animals. You know, we can go and pet them and this and that and the third. Nowadays, you wonder why you got COVID. You know, you wonder why you ended up with this skin disease, or you wonder why your child is out here. You know, they come in from being outside and they got, you know, they're infected by something because they went and touched these animals. Are these animals really touchable? Can we touch them? The fact that a lot of the fact that pet stores has animals and they do all these shots and this and that to these animals. There's a beaver. Let's see if I can get this beaver. Do all these yeah, my camera sucks. Oh my gosh, I can't even get the beaver. So they do that, this, that, and the third. The beaver is like literally right there. I think I'm pointing. It's right there. So they do all of this with pets because so that you won't get infected. They give the shots and this and that, and then they call it your pet. But this pet has to have its shots in order to be in your house. Why is this the case? You know, if that's the case, then no child should be out here actually touching on any of these animals. I would have been better off showing it like right here. The other side of my camera is horrible. But yeah, so that's just something I wanted to speak on because it makes sense, you know. We shouldn't be out here touching on these animals and stuff, but we're misleading our children because we have all of these cartoons with animals by our side. You know, making it seem like these animals is friendly and these animals are harmless. And even if they are harmless, you can't go touching wild animals. Or can you? We could be deceiving ourselves to the point where we feel like we got to go into these pet stores or we got to go give these animals shots, this, that, and the third. But we're actually fearful of catching anything, or we're putting ourselves in a fearful position to where we're limiting ourselves from going out here and catching a fish or catching a deer and catching this and that and the third. There's a lot of people out here that's actually eating these animals without it being manufactured. You know, they're going out here and hunting animals, cleaning them themselves and eating them, and they're still alive today. So could it be that we are limiting ourselves and putting ourselves limiting ourselves. We're limiting. We have a limit on ourselves to where we won't fully understand the full experience we can have with nature and these animals. You know, and the fact that we see a lot of people and they wonder why, you wonder why prices is going up on eggs and everything. Because you get on YouTube and you see all these videos of people eating food. They eating eggs. They out here getting their own milk. They out here doing everything, catching their own lobsters, catching their own fish, catching their own crabs. Like, we don't need no grocery stores. We don't need to do all of this. We don't need manufacturing, because I tasted this, I've done this, and guess what? It was harmless. So therefore, what are we really afraid of? The truth, being honest is that they're only out for your money. They put you in these situations to make you fearful and limit you and to put a limit on you so that you can depend on the manufacturing companies. And I don't know the names of a lot of, those big terms you use. Like, I don't know a lot of names of businesses and stuff like that. My weakness in school was economics, and that's where you learn a lot of that stuff. And my brain is just like selective learning. Like, you can tell me it, but I'm not going to really remember it unless it's meant for me to remember. So it can go in one ear, out the other. But I know the experience, and I know the story behind what you told me. But when you ask me names, that's something I have a deficit. That's a deficit area in my mind. If I can explain it the right way, civil. Yeah. Anyway, everybody got their own learning way of learning. So, what was I talking about? So yeah, we just limit ourselves, and we do this because they make money off of it. If we put this fear into you, or we make you fearful towards, going out here and catching your own meat without doing this, that, and the third to it, then we're putting you in a position of making you dependent towards, the situation. Making you dependent upon us financially so we can gain more from you. We're being greedy towards the situation. You don't really have to do all of this towards your food and this and that. You don't have to do all of this towards your food. But the fact that we make you believe this, we can make more money off of you. But like I said, you go into the videos on YouTube, you see a lot of people catching their own meat across the country. They ain't doing all this manufacturing or doing anything with their meat. They just catching them, cleaning them themselves, and eating them. But over here in America, we do that because we're in a greedy land to where they want to, it's all about money here. It's not about livelihood. It's not about survival. It's not about health. It's more about money. Everything revolves about money around money in America, while in other countries it's not about money. Therefore, it's more so about your humanity. It's more so about your wellness. So we are misguided in so many ways. We're misguiding our children to come out here and pet these animals, knowing that these animals can attack them because cartoons make them perceive that animals are so friendly and they can talk and this, that, and the third. But they don't. We are spending our money out of fear, on a fear-based foundation, on a greedy foundation, when we can actually go out here and do it ourselves. But it takes a lot of work. This is a summary of the video. So then I wanted to speak on something else. There was this one lady that was talking to me. She was telling me about, she was like, I'm so tired of all of these, foreigners and immigrants. I'm tired of immigration. I'm tired of people coming to this country. I'm tired of them. And when I'm listening to her, like, she in her 60s or something. So I'm just like, I'm listening to her, but at the same time, I'm just like, that's old news. Like, I'm so past it. You know, I've been past it since I was in high school because I went to high school with these foreigners. I was literally walking into the bathroom and they washing their feet and thinking, I'm just like, ew, gross, you know. But you learn a lot from them. When you get past the fact that you hate them or you hate this, that, and the third, you only hate them because of money. What is money but the root of all evil? This is the only reason that you hate them, because you feel like they're taking from you. You know, the government is babying them and spoiling them with all our money, or, you know, but this money is not yours to begin with. They're just trying to make you feel this type of way, and this is where segregation begins. Segregation begins because you are only hating these people because of money, reasons of money. If it wasn't about money, would you feel some type of way about them moving here? Like, I learned this in high school. When you in high school and you go, and this is where it ended, I guess, because the high school that I went to, now they're not allowing black or whites into the school, but it's only a school of foreigners. Why? Because you took advantage of the privilege of learning a different culture, and that's what life is about. That's what school is about, is learning about these cultures, and you're supposed to unite with these cultures. You know, I learned a lot from them. Just walking into, honestly, just walking into the bathroom, and they washing their feet, and this, that, and the third in the bathroom sinks, and, you know, just being around them, they taught me a lot. You know, I was to the point where I'm feeling a certain way about it, but it's that type of stuff that you learn. You know, you learn from. You know, what really matters, what actually matters, what's the common denominator what's the common denominator of all humanity? You know, we love cleanliness. So it's like you can learn from the situation. You can learn from these people if you get past the fact, if you get past that seed that was planted, that bad seed that was planted in the wrong soil, money and earth. That's the bad seed that was planted in the wrong soil. So if you can get past that, then you can actually see how beneficial it is living with these people. You know, this is the system wanting you to hate these people, and that's why they're giving so much money to these people, because they're controlling you like a puppet to a string. They're controlling you by separating you from these people and making you feel a certain way, because they know the hold that they have on you in regards to money. They know the hold that they have on you in regards to money. So therefore, they can control you in that way, and they can make you hate people that actually is beneficial in your life or beneficial to you. But by making you hate them, you can never understand, or you can never get the message, or you can never, you know, truly know what it means to be stronger together. So yeah, with that being said, that's my little message. I don't know if that's a message, but that's my little vent of the day, and that's just something I wanted to talk about, because honestly, I was watching that video about Ben and Michael. I was watching that video of Ben and Michael Jackson, and how Michael Jackson was so friendly with the monkeys and all creatures of the land, and I'm just thinking to myself, how can you be so friendly and so gentle and so touchy and feely and just treating animals like they're human beings? Like, how can you see past the fact that they're an animal? How can you see past that fur, or the fact that they look scary, the fact that they look like a monster, the fact that they crawl, and, you know, the fact that it's just, how can you get past that and actually be comfortable with these creatures? You know, that's what I want to learn, because that's something that I still haven't, that just don't sit right with me, you know. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, notify, share, turn on free will to show you care. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Talk to y'all next time. Bye.